crystal ball, what do I see? I see Abraham Lincoln and Harry Houdini. Well, you can't see it, so I better show you what I'm looking at in crystal ball. There it is. Proof. Abraham Lincoln and Harry Houdini together. How could that possibly be? Lincoln was assassinated in 1865, and Houdini was born in 1874. Obviously, the picture is a fake. That's what we are talking about, fake pictures. After Lincoln was assassinated, his son, Todd Lincoln, received a photo in the mail. And the photo came from Harry Houdini. And it pictured Harry speaking to good old Abe. What was the point? The point was that this was the heyday of spiritualists, when people tried to contact the dead. After the Civil War, where so many soldiers died, their relatives were keen to speak to them in the other world. And spiritualists or mediums were keen to take their money and show that there indeed was possibly conversation with the other world. And they produced spirit photographs like this. Now, Houdini took this picture to show how easily it could be faked, because obviously this picture purports to show Houdini talking to the spirit of Abraham Lincoln. It was the early days of photography. People didn't know very much about it. And of course, it was done with double exposure. Oh, I can tell you, Houdini would have loved Photoshop. So would the spiritualists. Anyway, Houdini, of course, became very well known for antagonizing and condemning the spiritualists and the mediums of the day for defrauding the public. But he actually was not the first person to do this. The first person to do this was Horatio Cook, also called Lincoln's magician. He was in the Union Army, and he had shown a remarkable talent for getting out of rope ties. And Lincoln thought that this would be great as a spy, because if he were captured, he would get out of whatever he was tied up with. Now, believe it or not, Lincoln was a fan of magic. When he was young, he used to perform tricks, and he went to magic shows in Washington all the time. Well, indeed, he enlisted Horatio Cook. He became a spy, and as chance would have it, he was captured, and he was able to get out of the ropes with which he had been bound to a tree. Because he was bound to the tree, he was to be tried in the morning. Probably he was going to be executed, but he got away. And then Cook forged a long career as a magician, and he talked at length about spiritualists and mediums. And he showed how they could do their tricks. And of course, Houdini loved this. He even went to Los Angeles when Cook was old. He was said to be the oldest living magician, and they had a meeting together with Houdini. And believe it or not, Houdini paid homage to Abraham Lincoln because he was a huge fan of Lincoln because of his connection to Cook and because of his love of magic. And one of the acts in Houdini's stage show was pulling out colored streamers from a hat. And finally, out of the hat would come an eagle. And guess what the eagle was named? Yep, Houdini's eagle was named Abraham Lincoln.